endlessly searching for an original sound.
Hey guys, welcome back to Red Embrace Hollywood. Let's do this. A knock at the door interrupted my dinner. I threw the empty bag back into the fridge, quickly wiped off my bloody lips, and reached for the door. There was no way I could handle Sarasota or Marcus again right now, so I silently prayed for it to be anyone else but them. Good evening. A gentle, melodic voice purred out of the man before me. I'd never seen his face before, but his too pale skin and flashing fangs immediately gave away who he was. You're Anon, aren't you? Please tell me I'm right. I don't want you to be anybody else. Yeah, that'd be me. What did you want? Well, he's a pretty little boy. Let's see. I don't remember calling for room service. Surprises are so much sweeter. I hope you return the favor sometime. I wanted to talk to you for a little while. Promise I won't steal too much of your time. Okay. Sure, come in. Thank you. Why am I not getting any music? There we go. He slipped inside the room, glancing around curiously for a few moments. I smelled the delicate floral perfume on his skin and clothes, one that made my nose tingle. I didn't mean to catch you off guard, but I stopped by, well, on impulse. I'm so happy that I did. Averting his gaze for a moment, he toyed with the fringe of his scarf, letting out a soft exhale. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Heath. Won't you say that for me? I'd like to hear it from your lips. This guy's going to be a really creepy guy. You might have to convince me first. What a tease. That's all right, as long as it goes both ways. On a more serious note, though, I passed Sarah's on my way in, and she told me about what happened to you. It's awful. I'd say I'm sorry, but apologies won't get your life back. So I wanted to offer you a sympathetic ear and a shoulder to cry on if you needed it. He spoke quietly, gravely, as if we were attending a funeral for the Anon who died back in the club. It wasn't so long ago that I went through the same thing you did. It's cold, it's cruel, and it's impossible to believe at first. But when it hits you, the loneliness is overwhelming. That's a strong attitude. I'm a little jealous. I just hope you can keep your strength after the weight of everything that really hits you. He let out a quiet sigh, running a hand through his feathery hair. See, I can't tell if it's too loud for you guys or not, so I'm trying to keep it so where you can hear the music. It was a little surprising how much my situation seemed to upset him, considering the apathy everyone else had shown so far. Sarah's mentioned your house, too. Houses, well, they're supposed to be the core of who we are in this hidden world. What defines us, what sets us apart, what makes us special in our snowflakes. Our gazes met for a few moments in silence. He kept his head slightly lowered, maybe so that his eyes could glitter up at me from behind their thick lashes. You know, we're supposed to hate each other on principle. Iskari and Mavar just don't get along. I don't know shit about this stuff. But the only thing more romantic than love at first sight is a bitter rivalry, wouldn't you agree? After all, hatred's only one step removed from love. Why? Just because they're both so passionate? Jesus, it's like you walked out of a... I want to pick that one so badly. Ouch. There's the Mavar spirit, all right. Well, I'd rather get abused by you than be showered with compliments by anybody else. We could all use a little grounding now and then. Heath watched me intently for a few minutes, heavily lidded eyes sparkling before tearing his gaze over to the window. I glanced past him at the glittering cityscape, only to meet his stare again in the glass's reflection. His expression had quickly sobered, so I guess vampires can see their reflection in this one? The way his mood seemed to shift so quickly caught me off guard. It was like they flickered on and off at a whim. You know, a few years ago you would have had a group of Mavar to welcome you into the unlife. But now, well, with the war going on, everyone seems more interested in protecting themselves than helping each other, even their own house members. I can't stand it. Isn't there a way to make peace? Heath shook his head, tracing his thumb along the cross of his cheek. No, not while the Marval and Golgotha refuse to enter a treaty with us. The Ascari, that is. Oh, I see what you're doing. You sent him in here to get us to do what you want. You devious little bitch. Until then, we're trapped in this endless cycle of bloodshed. I don't know who's more of a danger to us, the hunters or ourselves. Hunters? You mean vampire hunters? Yes, there aren't many of them, but they're always lurking around. Heath bit his lip, a troubled frown flitting across his face for a few minutes. I don't trust you as far as I can throw you, buddy. But listen to me, Anon, please. More than anything else, I want you to remember, if you don't want to be alone, you don't have to be. I run a bar downtown. Nothing much. Just a little nook for stars and a sanctuary for people like us. It's called I can't read it. Saturnalia. Won't you come by sometime? I don't mean to sound too forward, but... The warm lamplight reflected in his eyes as they flickered up towards mine. I don't trust him. His gaze was so longing and so hopeful that I had to wonder what I'd done to deserve it. It's called acting, darling. There's something different about you, something more than a little captivating. I'd like to learn more if you'd let me. I'll think about it. My hesitant reply made Heath clasp his hands together in a playful, pleading way. Think about me long enough and maybe, just maybe, you'll get a dream that will convince you to visit. Until then, if you ever need me, you know where I am. With a gentle bow of his head, he gave me one last long look. The sun's coming up soon, which means it's time for me to tear myself away, but I'll remember to say a prayer for your success tomorrow. Though honestly, I doubt you'll really need it. Sweet dreams, Anon. Hope him good night. After what happened tonight, I doubt they'll be sweet. See you around. Oh, that's such a dick move. I'm just gonna flirt with him. With that, Heath quietly made his way to the exit, slipping outside. Once the door clicked shut behind him, I was alone again in golden, solitary confinement. Like he had said, the sun would rise soon, meaning I need to tightly shut the curtains and curl up until tomorrow night. In a way, I didn't want to. Shutting the curtains would mean surrendering to the reality that this wasn't all some fucked up nightmare. But I wasn't sure how much longer I could deny reality. With the coming sunrise safely hidden away, I turned off the bedroom light. As I stared at the LED glow of the alarm clock, letting my transformed body sink towards something resembling sleep, one last thought drifted into my mind. Shit, I left my laptop at home. I felt incredibly lonely. I felt incredibly determined. I felt deeply determined. No matter what happened from here, I wouldn't let myself lose to fate. If I was trapped in this world, then I just have to find a way to survive it. There was still too much left for me to do. With that feeling still settled in my chest, I closed my eyes. Finally, a comforting nothingness pulled me down into the dark and away from the coming day. 2:01 a.m. I'd been waiting 3 hours for this call, anxiously pacing in my room. I need a laptop! I picked up the phone before the third ring, readying myself for Marcus's poetic drawl. Hello to my valued Hollywood Heights customer. Sorry. Hello to our valued Hollywood Heights customer. But instead of boisterous, theatrical voice boomed at me through the receiver. Are you paying too much for your car insurance? We're offering a very special deal just for the Hollywood Heights Platinum Reward members. Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? Oh, you're all right, Marcus. I see my efforts to put your nerves at ease are unappreciated, sister. And I'm mighty disappointed. Down to our business for tonight, however. The place you're going is July Company Parking, the abandoned garage downtown. That's where the party of our doomed rendezvous are meeting. I know I'll probably fuck that one up. You'll need to find Randall and get him to call off negotiations. You follow me thus far, sister? Now listen carefully, because here comes the best part. There's a knife that Randall loves very, very much. Why, he loves that blade as much as Lot's daughter loved their daddy. If he thinks someone stole it, it'll drive him completely wild and put him in a very unprofessional mood. I heard Marcus sharply. I heard Marcus inhale sharply on the other end of the line, like someone preparing to gleefully deliver the news. And that knife just so happens to be waiting for you at the hotel's front desk. You take that knife, show it to Randall, and pretend you took it off of a Golgotha who wanted to derive a hard bargain with it. That's sure to ruin negotiations. You could easily pass as one of his rabble-rousers, just masquerade on his side for a little while. That sounds sketchier than gas station sushi, but okay. If you want to get by in this existence, you'll have to get used to the unsavory plays. Bitches. Now once you've finished up, just come back to the hotel bearing all the good tidings. I have faith in you, Anon. Then again, I also had faith in Jack Kennedy, so maybe don't call yourself a messiah just yet. Jack Kennedy, huh? I didn't have the first idea what to expect, and that terrified me, but if I'd survived so far in Hollywood among the living, then I'd find a way to do it among the dead. It's called turning on everybody. You're all my enemies now. After picking up the knife from the front desk, I left the hotel and skulked out into the street. July Company Parking. I vaguely remembered seeing that sign before, at least so I had an idea of where to go. Stealing my nerves, I set out in the garage's direction, trying to avoid eye contact with any late-night passers-by. But as I walked, I started to feel the same aching hunger I felt last night. It was just a dull pain at first, but it quickly grew stronger, gnawing at me from the inside. Oh crap, time to go back. I couldn't focus on anything else. Before I entered the parking garage, I'd have to find blood to sedate myself, or else the pressure would make me snap. Damn it, that was probably why the fridge had 3 packs of blood in it, not just 1. I don't know why I said it like that, but my character's an idiot. You didn't give me the choice. Just then, my heightened senses picked up a scent. Down the alley, the scent of a mortal. Alone. There was no one else nearby, which meant I could feed on them if I wanted to. The pain was getting worse. Ironically, I'm actually really hungry right now. Yeah, I haven't eaten yet. My body ached, my head spun, and the whole world pulsed in front of me. I couldn't give in. I was human, not an animal. How could I just sink my fangs into someone, a living being like prey? Or so I tried to tell myself. The hunger kept growing and growing and growing. If I drank just a little bit, they wouldn't be hurt, right? I wouldn't be doing anything cruel. Just one small taste. I slipped into the alley, pulled like a magnet towards the wonderful scent. It didn't take long before I caught the sight of the source. Young man, probably in his late teens, let out a gasp as I stalked up to him. He had been taking a piss behind a dumpster, but quickly zipped himself up and cleared his throat. Hello? Can I help you with something? I'm just on my way home from work. His voice trembled. This was the first time someone had ever been afraid of me. But the only thing I could concentrate on was the smell of his blood, suddenly the most delicious smell in the world. Don't worry, I'm not going to mug you. Oh, that's a relief. His nervous laughter echoed in the alleyway. I took a step towards him slowly. He stayed in place, but I could see his whole body tensed up, getting ready to turn and bolt. Another step, and another, until he was only a foot or two away from me. Shh, come here, just a moment. At first, he only stared at me, blinking. But the next moment, he stumbled forward, as if I was pulling him by an invisible string. I curled my arms around him, gently tilting his head to one side, and the hunger in my gut jumped eagerly. You're dreaming, don't worry. With a shuddering breath, he closed his eyes, weakly clutching my shirt. My lips met the side of his neck, fangs extending as I pressed them into his flesh. Too lewd for YouTube. Also, that's a really nice picture. And sunk them in. Hot blood flooded onto my tongue, down my throat, sending sparks of life into my dead body. It was pure bliss. Not like food, not even like a buzz. It was a high, a delicious shock that ran through me and lifted me up. Lifted me higher. The blood pack from last night couldn't even compare. It was like a tasting ambrosia after licking dirt off the ground. But it wasn't just the taste that made the moment euphoric. It was the experience, the feeling of holding this mortal who squirmed with pleasure as I fed from him. The faint whimpers leaking out from beneath my fangs, soft and sweet. The hunger finally sedated. Slowly, his body grew limp in my arms, lightly trembling, chest rising and falling unevenly. I pulled back, licking my lips. I'd almost gotten carried away and drank too much. It was so hard to help myself. The young man was still limp in my arms, peacefully unconscious. I could still feel his heart beating, and his skin didn't look too pale. He'd wake up before long, or so I hoped. But I couldn't waste any more time. I needed to head towards the garage to catch the meeting on time, so I decided to carry him somewhere safe. This was LA at night, and leaving an unconscious guy lying in an alley was probably only a step away from a manslaughter. Funny how this boy was more in danger from his fellow man than from a monster like me. I picked him up easily thanks to my Marvel blood, probably, and searched for a nearby building for a safe place to leave him. It wasn't long before I found an old dentist office, long since abandoned. I kicked open the door and set the man down inside the dark, dusty waiting room, tossed the rug on top of him as for a blanket. Better than nothing, right? At last, with a somewhat lightened conscience, I hurried back to the streets. But I rushed towards the parking garage, savoring the last taste of blood on my tongue. I couldn't stop thinking about what just happened. This was what it meant to be a vampire. An urban, unholy apex predator. A parasite living off someone else's life. There really was no fight going back. Well, guys, we're gonna find out what happens next time. Thank you for joining me. Check out all the links in the description. We have a great merch shop, and if you like my videos and want to see more and help support me, there is a Patreon. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
This is a no-go, I just can't take hold. This is a danger zone, back up and get me home. This is a no-go, I just can't take